Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanovistam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Prishtakam Patita Pavana Karuniyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Izmiraha Saramurali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Brindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyayi Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I would like to begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradhatama Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitrila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtotara Sata Shrimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudev. And to my all Shri Rupa Gauriya Guru Varga, to all our spiritual masters from past, present, and future, and also to all the assembled guests here today, my humble obeisances. So, by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all our acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time to begin this most important Vedanta course for beginners. And especially I want to thank so much Sandra for organizing everything, arranging and inspiring me to do it. And also everyone who is attending this program now live and also through the recordings. My most my best wishes so that we can have this very auspicious opportunity to learn about the ultimate truth, the absolute truth that is revealed in the Vedas. So that is called Vedanta. So Vedanta is actually made out of two words. One is Veda and the other one is Anta. Veda means spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, but most specifically that knowledge which was revealed by God himself, by Krishna himself. And Anta means the end or the conclusion or the essence of all the teachings of the Vedas. But why should the Vedas have an essential teaching or a conclusion if the Vedas are all manifested from the breath of the Supreme Lord? All the Vedas, all the Vedic knowledge is spiritual, is transcendental, is faultless, it is spotless, immaculate. So why does it need to have something which is uh, more perfect than the others or more pure than the others? Hmm? So this is one of the uh, many mysteries of the Vedic knowledge. Hmm? How something which is pure, perfect, and complete can become more complete, more perfect, and even higher, most complete and most perfect. Hmm? So this is also called Vedanta. Vedanta is the most complete and most perfect. Hmm? Just like we have Narayana, we have Rama, and we have Krishna. Narayana, he's perfect, he's God. But Rama is also perfect and complete, but a little more than Narayana. And Krishna, he is very also perfect and complete, but more than Rama even. Mhm. So in this way, even inside of the absolute reality, there are uh, some differences. There are some differences. Later on, we are going to come to this very uh, concept that encompasses all this knowledge. But now we have to go slowly, okay, step by step. We cannot jump directly to the top of the tree to collect the fruits. Otherwise, we will just, you know, uh, smash ourselves on the ground. So we have to gradually climb this tree. The Vedas are compared to a big tree. And this tree has the most sweet and delicious fruit, but it is all on the very top of the tree. So we have to climb this tree to be able to mm, reach out this very sweet fruit. And after that, we have to be able to understand how to relish it. Mm. Okay, so I made a series of some slides, few slides with some, you know, very uh, what to say, concise information that I will be commenting after. And then also, if you have any question, you know, at any time, you can open your microphone and ask. Okay, no need to wait for the end so that you not miss the, you know, the link. But if you can wait to the end, is also okay, no problem. So, however complicated it may seem, Vedanta is not meant to be based on analytical philosophy or logic, nor is it a treatise on epistemology or a liturgical tome. Above all, Vedanta is a living experience of divine love, a unique sublimation of the material senses that elevates them to a state of transcendental fullness through loving service to the Supreme Lord. Mm. One of the verses of Vedanta Sutra emphasizes that it's not through logic and argument that we will be able to understand the absolute truth, but rather only to those that this very absolute truth can reveal itself. Mm, it can be understood. Mm. So here, Vedanta is not about philosophy. It has its philosophical aspect for sure, because it has to be described through reason. Okay, whatever is required to be described through reason, then that is called philosophy. So Vedanta has a philosophical approach, but it is not about philosophy. It is not about epistemology. Mm. And also, it is not a liturgical tome. Liturgical tome means very old and outdated book, religious book. Mm. So it is not also like that. So above all, Vedanta is actually an experience, and an experience those who are familiar with symbols, mhm, um, cannot be put everything into words. Just like interpreting a dream, right? You cannot put in words everything that happens in a dream because the logic of the dream is different than the logic of this material world, right? Of our awakening stage. So in this way, uh, uh, this experience, it cannot be transmitted also. And now comes a most difficult part, is that when the realized sages, the realized rishis, the great uh, personalities of the Vedic times, when they try to share their own realizations with us, with the public, they fail. They fail because uh, if the listener doesn't have that complete experience, he won't be able to actually understand what those words want to mean, because the words are limited somehow. Okay, so, but what type of experience is Vedanta? Vedanta is an experience of love. What type of love? Love of God. Mhm. And how love manifests itself? Through service, through action. Mhm. You cannot say you love someone and don't do anything for that person. It means you have no love, actually, right? So love has to be manifested into action. Into action. So when we transcend our material senses, when we are able to um, uh, sublimate our senses, then we will be able to experience this love of God. Why? Because we will be no longer using our senses for our gratification, but rather we will use our senses for the gratification of Krishna. Okay? Next slide. Vedanta literally means the conclusion of the Vedas. And the conclusion is that the eternal function of every soul is to love God and serve Him unconditionally. That is, to practice Bhakti Yoga. Love is a transitive verb. Whoever loves, loves someone. Therefore, by saying that we are all one, God or Brahman annihilates the possibility of loving and serving, since there will be no longer any subject or object to exchange love. Love does not exist by itself. It only exists if there is a lover. This is something very important. We very often hear about uh, the necessity of uh, meditating in the universal love, connecting ourselves with the absolute love, the pure love. So many type of um, ways we can address this. But the fact is, if we neglect that very personality who is actually loving, and we only try to focus in love itself, actually, this is not possible. We are actually missing love, actually, because love does not exist by itself. Love depends on someone who is loving and someone who is loved. And this is all about bhakti. Bhakti means to love God and serve God through loving service, devotional loving service. So the highest expression of love, it is only possible in our relation with God, because God is the very embodiment of love. But at the same time, he also needs mm, he also needs someone to be loved by him. That's why there is a verse in the Upanishads that says that Krishna He was not satisfied alone. Therefore, he created many out of himself to be able to be satisfied. So he creates Radha, he creates Baladev, and Radha creates 1 million gopis. Mhm. And like this, Krishna, he expands himself in so many other incarnations, and Krishna creates the the living entities, the souls, everything. Why? Because he doesn't want to be alone. Mm. Alone is the feeling that there is no way that love can be expressed, love can be experienced. Mm. You can, to some extent, definitely uh, love without having specific something, but not fully at all. Because even if you say, I love humanity, okay, so there is an object of love. I love the animals, okay. I love nature, yes, there is an object. But if you just say, I love, what does it mean? I love what? How am I going to express this love if I have no object of love? So, how this love comes into action if myself, I have become that very object? So, when the people say that we are God, we are Brahman, we are the whole, we are everything, we are the universe, whatever, they're actually removing the very possibility of love to be expressed. Because if you become your very object of love, then love cannot, love disappears, right? Love disappears. Next one. The soul's innate inclination to love and serve the Supreme Lord is called dharma. And the ultimate expression of this individuality with regard to the poetics of this dharma is the unique and irreplaceable way in which each soul is able to love God. So each one of us are very special because we are unique. We are unique. There is no another soul like us. There may be even some individuals like us in a material level, but there is no soul like us. Everyone is completely um, different and therefore very, very special. Mm. So no one can love Krishna like me. Not in the sense that no one can do better than me, but because uh, we are different. Mm. In the same way, no one can love Krishna in the same way you do, right? So that makes us very, very special and very important to the eyes, to the God's eyes. Mm. So, and then comes the next slide. We all have a higher purpose in life, a unique talent that we wish to share with others in order to serve and satisfy them. However, this talent only reaches its ultimate perfection when employed in service to the Supreme Person called Krishna. It is by serving Krishna that we will be granted the chance to experience the fullness of our own reason for being, existing, and loving. So, naturally, we are capable of doing many special things. Everyone has its own talents, its own qualities, qualifications. And very often, we want to express that to please others. Mm. If you sing well, you want to sing so others can delight. If you paint nice, you want also to paint for others to see. If you cook well, you definitely want to cook for someone. Mhm. So we are always trying somehow to satisfy others because this is love, right? This is how we express love. But that experience will be not be full. Why? Because in our very stage, we are imperfect, our love is imperfect, and the person, our object of love is also imperfect. Mhm. So, so therefore, that experience can only come to the fullest extent when you become self-realized as a soul. And you try to connect and offer your talents, your uniqueness to God's service. Mhm. At that point, the relationship will be perfect because God is perfect and your soul is also perfect. It has become perfected, right? It wasn't, but it has become perfected now. So, in this way, the best way to feel um, valued, to feel uh, connected, to feel that you mean something to someone for real and forever is when you establish your relationship with God. Because God will never betray you, will never cheat you. Mm. Whatever He does, that will be for your benefit. He knows how to love perfectly, different than anybody else. From this material world, many times we become disappointed. Many times we become frustrated because we endeavor so much to love, to serve, to dedicate ourselves, but we don't find reciprocation. Mm. Then we become disappointed, and the person does not value us properly. So experiences in the material world regarding love will always be incomplete, always. So our very reason for existing, for being, and for loving can only be fully experienced in our relation with God, with Krishna. Okay. Later on, we are going to see more technical things about the different schools of Vedanta, the different ways of understanding the different lines and schools, so that we can contrast things and understand it properly. I'm now just giving a brief summary of everything, of the essence of everything, but later we become more technical in our studies as well. Okay? Okay, next one. The center of gravity of the soul is the heart, because that is where it resides. Therefore, Vedanta will only be understood by those who know the language of love. Those who try to approach Vedanta through the analytical mind or jnana will never be able to understand it. As the Vedanta Sutra says, Tarkapra Chishtanat explains well. O my good lad, it is not through logic and deliberation that one can know the absolute truth, but such an opportunity is only granted to whom it chooses. So the absolute truth, it is not a product on the shelf that you can go and reach, take it and use whenever you want. It's not like that. Mm. Very often we see people saying, oh, just give the command to the universe and then the universe is going to arrange everything for you. Just command and just do it. The universe is there to arrange everything for you. They bring so many explanations using even quantum physics, how we are in a unified field of consciousness. So I am part, but I'm also the whole, and whatever I think, it is also part of everything, right? But I want to a little bit analyze this point, okay? So first of all, when I say universe, I'm actually not describing anything divine or transcendental, because universe means something material, right? We are talking about the universe, what was created. So in other ways of understanding it, it's just like if you worship the demigods. The demigods are actually in charge of this universe, of this material universe. And they work more or less in the way that I described. You can command and they will, fulfill. But of course, you have to do some puja. You have to at least give something. It won't be, that cheap. But nevertheless, they do whatever you want them to do, right? So therefore, this idea that I should just give to the universe and then the universe will do whatever I want, this is actually a very dangerous idea. Now, why is that a dangerous idea? Because, first of all, I do not know what is good for me. I am deeply into ignorance. Deeply. I am very trapped in the dark well of ignorance. So, many times we wish things, our wishes are being fulfilled, and what is the result? Suffering, frustration. Why? Because I thought that thing was good for me. So I made so many arrangements to make that thing to be manifested. I worship the demigods. I command the universe, whatever. But at the end of the day, that thing was bad for me. So in the same way, why we do not worship demigods and why we only worship God? Because whatever you ask God to give, He will only give what is good for you and in the way it is good for you. So it is much safer to worship God, because we cannot be cheated even by our own selves or by anybody else who is also under ignorance. So demigods are the ones who are controlling the universe, the material universe. When we say the consciousness of the universe, we are talking about demigods. We're talking about actually personalities which are not transcendental, which are not liberated, and they are also under illusion and under ignorance. You see how dangerous it is to worship demigods? Because you depend on your own understanding of what is good and in their also understanding of what is good. But if you read the Vedas, the Bhagavatam especially, you see how is the life of the demigods. They live a terrible life, full of anxiety, full of sufferings, full of illusions, full of faults and material contaminations and material desires. They are not perfect. So therefore, this idea of sending to the universe or to whatever, cosmic consciousness might be there, that will not give us actually what we want. Ultimately, everyone wants to be happy, right? Everyone is seeking for happiness. But happiness has direct relation with love, because you cannot be happy if there is no love in your life. Do you agree with me? Yes? Can you be happy without love? Not possible. So happiness and love, they will be walking together. But happiness is the consequence of having love, not the opposite. So love is more important. Again, love is the very, what to say, root of our existence, be it in this material world or in the spiritual world. So in this way, this verse of Vedanta Sutra says very clearly that it is not by logic or deliberation. Deliberation here means by my own endeavor of understanding that truth with my limited senses, trying to reach out something which is beyond the reach of the senses, with the senses, or via the senses. But rather, this absolute truth can only be understood if it reveals itself to us. Means the absolute truth is not an object on the shelf, but it actually a personality, a person. This is Krishna. And Krishna is independent. You cannot convince Krishna just by doing some small puja as you do for Indra or for Kali, whatever. You cannot do that with Krishna. You cannot bribe Krishna. Because his real puja is what? Pure love. He only accepts pure love from us. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that if you offer me a leaf, water, a fruit, I will be satisfied. I don't need big puja. But if you offer me with love, because even if you offer me like a whole feast, the most exquisite flowers, whatever, if there is no love, he will not accept that. That's why I said we cannot bribe him. But the demigods we can bribe very easily. You do a big yagya, you cut the throat of a goat, you pour the blood there. Oh, Kali is very happy. Very happy. So therefore, we should be very careful. Very careful. Next one. Know that truth is not a goal to be achieved through meditation, but rather a person to be won over through devotion. And Krishna is the supreme person. So meditation means actually that I will try by myself to fix things, to control my senses, control my mind, put everything on the track. But if on the other side there is someone, I have to actually, the only way to conquer that person is through love, through service, right? So Krishna can only become the object of my meditation if I will be able to attract him by my love, by my service. Otherwise, nothing can happen. So now, just to conclude, this next slide is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-12 that says, "The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, understands the absolute truth by rendering devotional service according to what he has heard from Vedanta Shruti." Vedanta Shruti means the literature which manifests the Vedanta. Shruti means one type of Vedas. We have the Smritis and the Shrutis. So the Shrutis are the original Vedas, like Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva, the Upanishads, the Vedanta Sutra. So in all of this literature, we have parts that contains Vedanta, that contains the essence of the knowledge, right? So here, very clearly in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is actually the natural commentary of the Vedanta Sutra, it says that if you are a serious student, you have to be inquisitive. So inquisitiveness is the beginning. The first verse of Vedanta Sutra is a Tattva Brahma Jigyasa. We shall now inquire about the absolute truth. What is that absolute truth? Okay. So this is how we begin exercising our humanity. Humanity begins when you are able to question about the absolute truth, right? Why? Because no other living entity can do it. Only humans can do it. But you should be equipped with knowledge and detachment, jnana and vairagya, and understand that absolute truth by rendering devotional service, by bhakti. Not only studying the scriptures, but actually acting devotionally. We have to do both. We have to study, we have to have knowledge. There is no point, and that's what we are doing now. But if we stop reading and don't do service, don't do bhakti, then that knowledge will not come into manifestation, like into realization. It will not become realization, it will be just information. So the difference between information and realization is when you act according to the instructions of that scripture of the Vedanta and practice bhakti. Put into practice what you are studying. If you just say, okay, I love Krishna, I love everything, but I don't want to follow any sadhana, I don't want to chant, I don't want to follow principles, regulative principles. I want to just, do whatever I want. I want to continue my same, enjoyment, everything. But at the same time, I want Krishna to bless me. I want Krishna to protect me. I want Krishna to do everything for me and give me the ultimate destination. So that's not going to happen. This is not the way things supposed to be, right? So anyhow, I want to see if you have any questions. Already 40 minutes I am speaking here. Let's see if you have grasped or how you are digesting everything. Let me know, Sandra, if you have any question.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I do have a question, I think, because you were talking about self-realization, and that in that moment or in that case, the soul will be in perfection as well. So is that the state that we aim for? Is the question, I guess.
I didn't get your point. Can you elaborate?
I noted that you said the self-realization of the soul is already perfect. So, but if we perform bhakti and vairagya and jnana, then it will be possible to fulfill the uniqueness of the soul, is what I understood.
If we follow bhakti, jnana, and vairagya, right? Yes. But jnana and vairagya here, they are actually a byproduct of bhakti. Okay, they are depending on bhakti. They are not independent. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse that says, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Yashu Vairagyam Gyananchaya Dahaitukam. The verse says that if you perform one-pointed devotion to Vasudeva, Vasudeva means Krishna, you achieve two results, jnana and vairagya. Means detachment from material enjoyment and spiritual knowledge. Here, jnana means vijnana or spiritual knowledge. Okay, devotional knowledge connected to bhakti. Okay, so this is actually a very technical thing, because the word jnana, knowledge, when it is used separately, it is actually means the knowledge of the impersonal aspect of God as being the ultimate goal of life. So when we say bhaktas, jnanis, and yogis, these jnanis are those who are seeking for achieving the impersonal aspect of God, Brahma Jyoti, or the Brahman. Okay, they are not thinking they are the Brahman. This is a different thing. They are devotees. They are actually worshipping that. They are contemplating that, because that is also one aspect of God, right? God has that aspect. So that's like a true thing. So it's different than the Mayavadis. The Mayavadis are the ones who believe also in the impersonal aspect of God, but they will say at the same time that we are that same. We are
Mm.
that Brahma. Okay, these are not Gyanis. Gyanis are good. They're not completely understanding, but they are good. They are devotees. And actually, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nasusachi na Kankshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktin Labate Param. Krishna says, those who are established in Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta means those who are on the stage of um, connection with Brahma, with the impersonal aspect. Hmm. They will very soon, Mad Bhaktin Labate Param, they will very soon achieve devotion for me because they are well established in a spiritual life. So it is like a stage. It's like a stage. So first we have the yogis. Yogis are connected with Paramatma in the heart. Mhm. But Paramatma only exists in the material world, so it cannot be our eternal, worshipable deity or Ishtadeva. So then the next step is Brahma. But beyond Brahma, there is Bhagavan, who is Krishna, Rama, Narayana, and Nrsimha. Okay? It is very, very technical, very similar. Sometimes the same words are used in different contexts, meaning something different. But as you get used to it by hearing many times, it will become easy. No problem.
Thank you.
Right. Only one question? Sandra? Only one or more you have?
For now, just the one. I think it's a lot about the technical, the nuances that I'm trying to
Well,
establish for myself.
let's go through it. If you have any doubt, any question, I'm here for that. Otherwise, you're gonna wait for when?
Yes, this is the moment. Maybe
No.
you can talk more about. I think I have a like a image about what you mean when you say the demigods, but I'm not sure how it's connected or what is the purpose of them, basically.
Hmm.
Because I remember that you were talking once in one of the lectures a lot about the material world, about Maya, about her being a part of Devi. And all in all, I guess what I would like to know is what is their purpose and what is the,
Role of the
yeah,
demigod.
kind of.
Right, right, right. Well, the demigods, they are actually the labors of God. Mhm. So God, He creates, but He does not operate in the sense. He's not the one who is going to um, really put His hands and manifest a tree or a mountain or a body of a person. No, He's not the one who's going to do it. He's not the one who is going to also operate things in the sense that he's not going to move the sun or move the moon or make rain. He's not going to do it. So then he delegates to the demigods this duty, right? This duty. So demigods are like working for the maintenance of the creation in the gross aspect. Of course, from behind, in a subtle aspect, Vishnu is there to maintain the creation. Because only if Vishnu is behind, his energy is there, then creation can, stick together. It can be, existing. All the transformation can take place. But in the gross sense, demigods are the one who are actually managing. So there is a demigod for the rain, Indra, demigod for the sun, Surya, demigod for the moon, demigod for the earth, demigod for our senses that are the Rudras. So everything is governed by these entities, by these personalities, which are not liberated souls, which are not perfected souls. On the contrary, they're also in the path of, progress. They're also having their illusions. They're also having their misconceptions, their mistakes, whatever, right? So therefore, when I say if you put the universe, if you give to the universe, in fact you are giving to the demigods indirectly. Indirectly, I mean to say, right? Because they are the one in charge of this universe, right? They are the one in charge. So in that sense. But there is something very interesting that is happening now in this month. Now we are in the month of Purushottama. Did you hear about it?
Yes, I think so, but I
Right.
have no idea what it is.
Yes. So Purushottama is the extra month, is the 13th month that only occurs 2 years and 8 months at a time. Mm. So to regulate the moon calendar with the sun calendar, because the the moon calendar is faster, moves faster than the sun calendar. So after some time, you have to put an extra month on the moon calendar to make it again come close to the sun, a little bit, paired to the sun calendar. So therefore, this is called the month of Purushottama. And right now we are in this month. It started just on the this last 16th. It started. Okay. So what happened? The story behind this month is that we have for every month one sun, one moon. There are actually uh, we see one sun. Looks like we have the same sun, but the demigod in charge of the sun changes every month. Okay, so we have 12 different demigods for 12 months of the year. So every uh, uh, um, sun will be represented and will be like run by these different Surya Devas. Okay, different Surya Devas for each month. So, but this extra month has got no anyone to work on it because it's extra, so it is out of place. So, and everyone thinks or used to think that this month was impure. This month wasn't actually auspicious, good for anything. And even there are some brahmanas in India that they don't do any type of work in this month because they think this month is not uh, capable of giving any fruits, any good things. So this month became very disappointed, and he came to complain to Krishna. And then he said, "My Lord, you created me for your material creation, but no one wants to work in my shift. The sun doesn't want to work, the moon, the earth, no one wants to work during my time. So what to do? I have to exist. I have to, you know. So how it's gonna work?" Then Krishna, he says, "Don't worry. I myself will become in charge of all the activities of the universe during this month." Therefore, during this month, for 30 days, Krishna is the one moving the sun now. Krishna is the one bringing rains. Krishna is the one moving the moon, whatever. Hmm. So he can do it if he wants. Hmm? Because he can. He's God, of course. For example, Brahma is the demigod Brahma, okay? Do not mistake Brahma with Brahma, okay? Brahma is the impersonal aspect of God, the effulgence from God's body. But Brahma with the long A, this is the demigod, which creates this material universe, okay? He's the creator, or pseudo-creator of this material world. So Brahma, he is a jiva like us. He's a soul like us, and he to reach that post, he had to perform so many austerities during so many lifetimes to become eligible to come to that post of becoming Brahma. But suppose that There are no jivas qualified to become Brahma in certain universe that is about to be created. So Krishna himself, he has to become that Brahma to be able to create. In the same way, if there is no Shiva to destroy, because it is very difficult. So sometimes there is no one eligible to become Shiva. So Krishna himself becomes Shiva and he does all the job, right? So if there is no one, he's going to, you know, uh, keep everything fine. But if not, then the demigods are working for him. So in this way, uh, demigods, they have a big responsibility in their hands because they are maintaining, the whole creation in which we depend, uh, uh, and we do our sadhana here in this world, in this body. So we need everything to function properly so we can offer things to Krishna, so we can use, things in bhakti, right? So in this way, this is more or less the roles of the demigods. So, so that's what I said. If you just ask to the universe to do something for you, in fact, you're not asking anyone actually, because who is going to listen? You didn't address anyone specifically, right? And most of these people connected with quantum physics or the power of now and all this type of consciousness, manipulation of reality. Everything is possible, nothing is impossible, all these things. Actually, these people, they are just actually collecting the fruits of their own karma from previous lives. Mm. So, because before some karmas appear in our life, manifest in our life, it comes as a premonition. Premonition, you understand? Premonition, because it is approaching. It is approaching, so you feel it. Just like if a storm is, approaching from very far, already this environment here is changing. So we sense things that are going to happen. So therefore, we think that we are desiring things, but actually those things are already meant to happen. So these people, they think, okay, I am desiring, therefore it is happening. No, no, no. That thing will come anyway. And because that thing is very familiar to you, this already came in your mind, this already came in your heart. And therefore you are expressing that. Understand? This is the logic behind. Because I can guarantee to you, it only happens to very few. Oh, I want to be very rich in this life. I want to be very successful in this life. How many can actually be only by desiring, right? So very few. And those who have good karma, they will say, yes, just do it and it's going to happen. But that was not the cause. Because in previous lives, you did some good activities, you did pious activities, then therefore you now collected a large amount of wealth. But if you think that is for your enjoyment and you stop doing pious activities, then next life you come as a very poor person. Very poor person. This is like the way, right? Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
All right. What about Jasmine? Disappeared. Jasmine, are you still there? She might be busy. Okay, so we have to stop now. I have other commitments, things to do, and we have reached our 1 hour meeting. So anyone watching online, recorded later, can also write me if you have any questions. Next meeting, in the next meeting, I will discuss about ignorance, the different types of ignorances.